Indian banking system. Which is the apex body of Indian banking system? That is RBI. RBI is known to the Central Bank of India, and according to RBI, there are two types of the banks. First is scheduled banks, and the second one is non-scheduled bank. Non-scheduled. What is scheduled bank? According to RBI, there are two kind of the scheduled bank. First is commercial bank, and second one is cooperative banks. And commercial bank can be further classified into several categories. First is public sector banks, in bracket, yeah, public sector bank, and can be categorized into two categories. First is SBI, second is nationalized banks. Nationalized banks. Second is private banks, and private banks can be segregated into two parts. First is Indian private banks, and second is foreign banks, and third type is rural banks, regional rural banks. On the other hand, there is a cooperative bank. Cooperative banks means the banks where the members are the owner of the banks. Cooperative banks are two types. First is urban cooperative bank, and the second one is state cooperative banks, rural cooperative banks. And there is a third type which is not segregated yet, but one more type is available, that is differentiated bank. And these differentiated banks are known as, first is payment banks, and the second one is small finance banks. Generally these differentiated banks are trying to get the status of the commercial banks, but initially they are small. They are not providing the CBS core banking solutions. They are providing limited financial facilities, so they do not have the status of the commercial bank currently. Some of the banks are trying to expand their business and trying to status of the commercial bank, but it will take time to become a commercial bank. And non-scheduled banks are not the important for our discussion, because non-scheduled banks are generally those banks which are not regulated by the RBI. Basically, these banks are regulated by the societies registered. These are the small banks which is not much affected, and these banks do not have accepted large portion of the amount by the public. These are the small banks. So initially, now we can say Indian banking system, apex body is RBI, which is known as central bank. And according to RBI, there are two kind of banks are existed in India. First is scheduled bank, second is non-scheduled. And if we talk of non-scheduled bank, these banks are not regulated by, so that there is no need to further classification for this. These are the small banks which is not highly affecting the country's economy. But scheduled bank, according to RBI, scheduled banks are those banks which are mentioned in RBI's Act second schedule, so that if the banks which are classified into the second schedule of RBI Act 1934, that will consider as a scheduled bank. Scheduled banks are classified into two categories. First is commercial, and the second one is cooperative. If we talk about the commercial banks have further classifications like public sector bank. Public sector bank means where the government owns more than 50% shares. Where the government owns more than 50% shares. It means these banks which is known as a public sector banks, they are the government banks. They are the government bank. There are two kind of the government banks are in India. First is SBI and second is nationalized. And the second type of the commercial bank is private bank. In India, there are Indian private banks just like ICCI, HDFC, Kotak Mahindra Bank. And on the other hand, there are foreign banks like HSBC, Standard Chartered Bank, Bank of America, RBS, Royal Bank of Scotland. These are the banks being operated in India. but they have the status of the private banks. And how we can identify this is the foreign private bank? Indian private banks are owned by Indian private groups. These banks are owned by Indian private groups. But if we talk about the foreign banks are owned by the foreign entities, and it has the head offices in the outside the country. The head offices are located at outside the country. We can say these are the foreign banks. Suppose Royal Bank of Scotland, they have the branches here, but they do not have the head offices here. And the third type is that is regional rural bank. These banks are basically operated for the semi-urban areas and rural areas where the most of the area was unbanked, where the branches were not being opened by the commercial banks, because they was aware if they open their branches in the rural area they will not get better profits. Commercial banks are being operated for providing the financial services and ensure the profit. That's why they are being operated. Yes or no? And if they are being operated, the regional bank, the focus of the regional bank was to establish and provide the financial services as much as possible with the lower cost. Suppose if a person, those who are living in the rural area, and they ask for some credit from the bank, so RRBs and regional rural bank will provide them the credit at a lower interest rate in compared to commercial banks. Is it clear? In compared to public sector bank, in compared to private sector bank. But these banks are owned by the central government. On the other hand, there are second categorization of the scheduled bank, that is cooperative bank. Cooperative banks are basically classified into two categories. First is urban cooperative, and the second one is urban cooperative banks. Mean those are operated in semi-urban areas and urban areas. Sometimes these banks have large number of account holders. In future, these banks have the potential to become commercial bank, because initially they are operating in the cities. It may be possible they have good amount of deposit. If we talk about the second bank, these are the state cooperative. Basically, these state cooperative banks are opened to provide credit and financial services to the rural areas, to the interior areas, to the vulnerable people, to the marginal people, to the small farmers, to each and every section of society, those who are not having the access of commercial banks. These bank tries to ensure credit supply to them. If we take example of farmer, the farmer initially was heavily dependent on sahukas, money lenders, and the money lenders was charging high interest rate. When the farmers was unable to repay their loan, they stuck in debt trap, and sometime they mortgage their agricultural land. When they unable to repay their loans, they become a landless farmer. Yes or no? So in that case, they arises challenges for their livelihood, and sometimes they take the societal attempts to resolve all these problems. The state government decided to provide some credit facility through the financial channel which is known as state cooperative banks. This is the structure whatever we have in Indian economy for the financial supply, for the finance supply for each and every person. But it was not enough attempt have been taken by the government. In 2014, there was a committee which is known as Nachiket More Committee. Nachiket More suggested if the government wants to expand their financial inclusion. What is the meaning of financial inclusion? Financial inclusion is a process where the government and the central government wants to connect maximum population with the financial system. It means there are some people, those who are living in the rural area, they do not have the access of the bank account. What will be the consequence of that? They will not have the access of the government schemes benefit. If the person who do not have bank account in the banks, what will be loss for them? First loss will be they will not get any benefit which have been provided by the government of India. Just like PM Kisan Yojana. Under the PM Kisan scheme, the government is providing cash benefit of the 6,000 rupees. If the cash benefit of the 6,000 rupees have been provided to the farmers, so this cash benefit will be provided under the DBT scheme, direct benefit transfer. If you have the bank account, the amount will be transferred and credited in your account. So this is the complete procedure. If a poor person, vulnerable person who is a farmer but are not having any bank account, it means he will not get access of this fund. So whatever the benefits have been provided by the government, whatever, if suppose a person who have the amount, if he deposits in the banks, so he will get some interest rate, the saving rate will be increased. So such type of things if happening in their particular area, so it makes farmers, vulnerable persons empowered. So in 2014, the Nachiket More committee recommended we need to introduce some new type of banks which primarily focuses on those people who do not have bank account. Then the concept of the payments banking small finance bank arises, and then after the 2014 the RBI opened such type of banks when become very popular. Now most of the people banking account in India, and they are getting the benefits. If we talk about the rural area, interior area, the areas which are not initially accessible by the banks, now they have the access of the banking structure.